Okay, here's how we're going to start, is by turning up the master level. And I'm talking into the microphone now on the left or the right. And having them both up is typically the way to go. This can go up to about unity, push it up all the way, you might get a ring. So you just want to talk louder and make sure the microphone is right next to your mouth. For the Bluetooth, go back here, turn it on, and I've already connected it to my phone once, so pressing this will start a pairing mode, and it can look for Bluetooth devices. You'll see it pop up as a new device if you go to Bluetooth settings, which, alright, so it turns blue when you're connected. I think it's called BO6 Plus. This volume, same deal, it should be about unity, but it can go up and down a bit. And you can get extra volume by turning these EQ knobs up or down a bit. You'll notice, other knobs I have basically up and down at noon. But for the music to sound the best, just giving a little bit of extra highs, mids, and lows. But you notice they're tweaked just slightly. These speakers have a pretty low response, so it's a little bit less lows, a little bit more highs. Because Bluetooth does not feed back. Where you might get feedback is on the microphone. So it has to be gained up pretty high here. This knob is gained up all the way. This shows that it's perfect signal, and then this, if I tap on it, you can see that there's a sound coming in the microphone. So this microphone is designed to reject most sounds, so we don't get a lot of feedback. But if this knob were to be turned way up, it could feed back. It just depends on the sound you're looking for. But just straight noon is a good place for everybody to start. A lot of bass also could feed back, but that doesn't typically sound good. Most people aren't going to do that. In mid-range, same deal. It'll just make you sound tinny and less. Some voices, especially female voices, need a little bit less in the mid-range. The sibilants, or S's and T's, again, best addressed by being close to the microphone, but it can be turned up slightly. And some female voices prefer a little more bass. I really don't need it with my voice, so I tend to keep it down a little bit and right at unity. So, yeah, all of these buttons are hard to read because when you mute it or unmute it, it looks kind of similar. Same thing with soloing. It's going to make that red light flash. It's just to help you locate where a signal is. Right now, all the signals are being shown because I have this pushed. If this is up, then nothing will be shown unless you solo. And now you're seeing the signal again. I'm going to turn the solo off and turn that back on. So this is the way I like it, and most people just kind of want to see something happening on this board. That's a fine way to run it. If you don't want to see everything happening, those buttons can be pressed, but to see everything and not have to isolate, this is in, these are up, 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 and up. This is the little roll off. I would keep that on all the time, so it's going to be in. The rest of them are not plugged in, so they're all up. This is a little pad, so that the Bluetooth could be more or less. If it's up, it's going to be less. If it's in, it's going to sound a little bit louder. These are the main outs going into this amp, where the volume is right at noon. It can go up a little bit if you really need to hear, but it's not going to make a huge amount of difference as long as it's in this range. If you turn it up way up to here, it could take too much energy and kind of sound bad. You don't want to be running it here all the time. And right here, you're not going to hear anything. Even though we still have lights going up there, and this can be cranked up. I can barely hear it, and if I talk really loud, I can hear it. So the thing to do is to have it up here and just talk a normal voice. Have everything right where it should be. balance right here, left and right, same as these are left and right. Record selector's off, loudness and tone defeat are both up, which means they're off. The tone defeat could be on, but the loudness sounds bad, I think. It might sound a little bit clearer at first, but it could lead to feedback, so I would leave that off and move on to the treble and bass. They're right at noon because we've got those controls for each channel up here. Speakers 1 and 2, we have 1 on. If that gets pressed, you won't hear anything, so keep it on. Speakers 2, we can leave off for now, but if you add the power button here is a hard switch. It'll take about 3 seconds to come back on. And aux, right in the middle. So that's where we want to be at all times. None of these other ones will do anything right now. Just keep it right here. None of this should have to be touched. The only thing you really want to do is bring everything down before turning anything on or off. To turn this microphone on and off, it gives a very brief flash, but power. And there's a mute. You could turn mute on before or after you turn the power on and off, but that doesn't really matter. Mute should always be off. Power, when I switch it on here, brief flash. AAA batteries right in here. This one should be good for a while. And I would just set that right there, leave it there, unless you have a place you want to keep it in the office and keep it safe. Keep a couple spare batteries, maybe get some rechargeables if you like. I would leave this on. This is the power supply for the amp. All of this can stay on. To shut it down, I would just go down here and turn it off there. Again, when you turn it on, make sure these are all the way down. That blue light comes on. All these things should light up. Give it a couple seconds and turn it on. And that just popped on. Let's turn this on. Hey. All right. So that's it. It's connected to the phone. Just play Bluetooth through your preferred program. Once you are connected, it will stay solid. There is one more thing. There's a 3D mode. This button here. I guess maybe if music's playing, it might sound a little bit cooler. But I got this because no volume controls on the device to mess up. All you really have is a play pause, which is also the connect button. And you could turn it off, but I never really would. I would just use that to turn on and off everything. There is a power button here. It's red. You don't need to ever use that. I would just make sure that you know that it's there so you can turn it on. And this has 2 switches. One is for 48 volt power for some specialty mics. I would leave it off, and then this I would just leave on. The only power switch you need is on the strip. And I think that'll do us.